4x4 Club Challenge is brought to you by Bridgestone. This is the 2014 Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge Final. Based at the beautiful Doornrivier 4x4 trail in the Northwest Province, the top 30 teams from 4x4 clubs around the country will battle it out for top spot on the podium, which happens to come with a Conqueror off-road trailer worth 50,000 Rand. But first, some more information on the final and how it will go down. The teams will drive in their own vehicles on a set route on the farm, encountering 10 obstacles along the way. Since this is the final, and since these 30 teams represent the best of the 4x4 clubs, the organizers devise some extremely tricky and tough obstacles. And there were a few surprises in the offering that would make jaws drop and certainly raise more than a dozen eyebrows. But more on that later. Before we get this party started with some scrutineering, first some news about one of the competitors. John Fuller was towing his Mercedes Gelandewagen on the N4 highway when trouble came a-knocking.
I could have sworn yesterday was Friday the 13th. We went through the tar gates, I was putting the car on the A-frame, and I saw smoke coming from under the car. You know, you'd never expect that from a vehicle when the engine's not running. So anyway, I stopped and got out, and I saw smoke coming from under the car. And I thought perhaps the engine was running, it wasn't. And it turned out that something in the back of the vehicle must have thumped the gear lever of the transfer case and engaged it. Anyway, so now we picked the car up, changed the wheels, and it's just fallen off the jack. So when it goes wrong, it goes very wrong. And I hope they don't come in threes, that's all I can say.
Showing a great spirit of camaraderie, the team captain of the Mercedes-Benz G-Extreme team, Johan Marx, offered his own Gelandewagen to John and wife Desiree, giving them a shot at the title. Back to the red tape then. Normally scrutineering would comprise only of a safety and legality check, but for the final, the wheelbase and clearance of each vehicle were measured and a formula used to award some penalty points. Yes sirree, the toughness of this event started before the 4x4s were even out on the trails. And with the number crunching completed, it was time to get the party started, as we ride with the Suzuki Auto Club of SA's lads and gals. In most Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge events, the obstacles are close to each other, set in a quarry or at an existing 4x4 play area. This was not the case in the final. To get to the first obstacle, the Suzuki team had to navigate their way through 3 kilometers of beautiful bushveld. The organizers had warned that in places, the route to get to the obstacles could be an obstacle in itself, and they weren't kidding. Obstacle 1 was basically a rocky drive down a steep mountainside, with a few narrow gates and steep drops to contend with. After a guided tour of the obstacle, courtesy of the marshals, Dani Tate and Vilma Ferry and their air-powered Suzuki SJ413 lined up first. Right, so Dani and Vilma are set. Off they go. Steady as she goes, lads. Down that big drop goes the little Suzuki. And they're through, with 100 points in the bank. Next up are Raymond and Annelle Martin in a jacked up Jimny. Off they go. Oh no, they touched one pole. They make it through the rest of the obstacle with no more hits or penalties. That's not a great start for the Martins, but 75 points is still solid.
Okay, when we're ready, eh? Okay.
Here's another Jimny, and this one is piloted by Ivan Lerm and Stephen Grieve. The little Suzuki heads down the mountain. But that's a stop, and it's worth 5 points. Ivan and Steve make it through the rest of the obstacle okay. This is obstacle 2, and here is Ivan and Steven in the little chimney to show us all about it. It's a steep, slippery and rocky climb up a mountain with some narrow gates along the way. The small Suzuki makes it through with no penalties, but the bigger 4x4s may have a tougher time here. Bigger 4x4s like the Mercedes-Benz Geländewagen gang, who are next in line. Experienced crew Graham Yupp and Lynn Zobel are first to tackle obstacle 2. This is a V8-powered G-Wagon, and with the standard front and rear lockers, it should theoretically be a drive in the park for the Benz.
Come towards my side here. Don't do that forward. Okay, stay like you are. Stay just exactly where you are. Okay, careful. Okay, you through. You didn't knock it. Did you knock something? You knocked one. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Okay.
So how did that go, Graham?
Terrible, I knocked apart. Bloody awful.
Former champions Marco and Joe Marinkovic are up next. In the passenger seat, Dad Joe is on diff lock duty. In the G-Wagon, you can engage and disengage the front and rear lockers at will, while the Benz is on the move. With both lockers engaged, the 230 GE climbs up the mountain like a mountain goat on Red Bull, and Marco manages to avoid the pole that caught out his teammate. And that's 100 points. Well done, lads. The last Geländewagen is crewed by Idmar Marx and Johannes van der Walt. Let's see if they also qualify for the 100-point deal. Up they go. Oh no, one of those big rocks threw the Geländewagen's tail out of line and straight into a pole. The duo clears the rest of the obstacle without incurring any more penalties. But if Geländewagens are shedding points, then you know it's kind of really tough. This is the 2014 Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge Final, and this is Obstacle 3. This is now also where the competitors are thrown a bit of a curveball, and the faster the drivers can adapt and adjust, the better. This is the Nissan Off-Road Club, and the curveball is all about a Ford Ranger 3.2 TDCi Odyssey with an auto gearbox, supplied by Action Ford Krugersdorp and Ford South Africa. The Nissan lads and girls have to leave their Datsuns parked right where they are, and they have to complete this obstacle in the unfamiliar Ranger. Adding further spice to proceedings is the fact that the obstacle is a really tough one. Our first customers are Nissan Patrol crew Dion Vilmar and Peter Cressing. If nothing else, at least Dion is used to driving a very big 4x4. First though, they have to figure out the ways of the Ford. So with diff lock engaged, in they go. Dion takes the 4x4 ethos of as slow as possible, as fast as necessary, really to heart, as he slowly edges his way down the first steep slope, maneuvering between the poles. That's 2 stops recorded. Now for the first climb. And the Ford is up, but has taken out a pole. On the next descent, Dion is still slow and steady, but oh dear, he takes out another pole in the tight turn. Now just for the last steep climb. No, too little momentum, and the Ford spins to a halt. The team takes a rollback and has another go at the climb, this time with a dash more speed. And they're up! But unfortunately, the Ford takes out another pole at the second last gate. So that's a total of, oh dear, 25 points. We move along to Obstacle 4, along with the Isuzu Off-Road Club's lads. Here, another Ford Ranger 3.2 TDCi 4x4 automatic was waiting, but this obstacle upped the difficulty level several notches. Essentially, the teams can choose one of two routes up a steep, rutted and slippery embankment, which goes round a heap of sand and back down to the same starting point. Teams who have completed the obstacle may not offer advice to the teams who must still do it. Let's watch the drama unfold. This is Gareth Gonzalez and Peter van Niekerk, who usually drive an Isuzu Frontier V6. There was a bit of a catch to this obstacle. The differential lock doesn't actually engage, but the marshals keep mum about this fact. After engaging the phantom rear locker, Gareth and Peter are ready for action. Up they go, and Gareth does a great job with the momentum there. But the turn at the top is too tight, and he has to reverse. He makes the next turn, but has to go very wide. Unfortunately, Gareth decides to reverse again, and oh dear, the Ford's bumper takes a bit of a beating. This obstacle is clearly no drive in the park, and Gareth leaves with nothing. Fellow Isuzu Frontier crew Jaco Fulmer and Melvin Patton are next to tackle the obstacle.
Take it. Go.
With the diff lock engaged, but not engaged at all, the Isuzu lads do a great job of getting the Ford Ranger up the slippery climb with an ideal turn of momentum. At the top, they decide to rather take out one pole in that tight turn.
That's it. Okay, take the stop and reverse.
Jaco makes good use of the Ford's park distance control to avoid the pole behind the Ranger. And then, well, then it kind of goes wrong. Jaco hangs up the Ford, and it's not going anywhere soon. With the left side step firmly embedded in the heap of sand, and the nose firmly embedded in another heap of sand. So the rest of the Isuzu lads are called into action to save their chommy. After all of that, Jaco and Melvin score, well, nothing. And remember earlier we mentioned that teams who have completed the obstacle may not give their buddies who must still do it any heads-up advice on how to complete the obstacle. Well, Jaco and Melville had a cunning plan.
Wink left turn. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. We've just been busted on camera for trying to help our friends.
Don't tell them. Go left,
Okay,
go left.
we cheat, but we're good people. We're good people.
If the teams thought their trial by Ford was over, they'd be wrong. The rest of the obstacles all had to be completed in the Rangers. Anyway, back to Obstacle 5, and the 4x4 community team was up next. And here's a Jeep Wrangler driver. It's Corne van der Merwe, and his co-driver Freddie Siebert is on the track, giving direction. He clears the first bit okay, but then takes a pole out. The Ranger spins to a stop. He has to take a roll back and kills another pole, but makes it through. 35 points it is. Welcome back. Here is defending Club Challenge champion Danny Daniels, who's partnered by Tiens Kortenhoeven. Danny normally drives a Jeep Grand Cherokee, so let's see how he goes here. Going well, going well. Oh dear, he hits one pole on the way up, but that's a highly commendable 75 points earned. This is obstacle 6, and it's a blind driving test, where the driver has to wear a trendy set of eyewear that has been blacked out, and the co-driver has to give verbal instructions on where to drive. Our first customers are Sean Niemand and Chart Skierpers. Sean won 2 rounds of the challenge during 2014 in his Jeep TJ, but he's having a miserable final, and it's about to get even worse, but not before some light-hearted banter.
My kant, jou kant.
My kant, jou kant, jou kant,
My kant,
my
my
kant.
Sê vir my as ek bietjie petrol moet gee.
Gee petrol, links, 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 links. Okay, wow, net so, kom so. Rechts, 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 rechts. Okay, links, links, links. Voor zo'n boekje, een beetje fit. Gaan een beetje links, 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 links. Okay, full ook rechts. Full ook rechts, ja, nou. Gaan, gaan.
Al af hier de vlak. Af, né?
Okay, stop.
Stop.
Stop, stop.
Full lock.
Gaan, 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 gaan. Okay, wow. Stop.
Vat hom drive toe.
Nice and drive.
Okay, gee hom vir my. Dan bring hom oor. En dan skop ons hom soontoe. Kyk of hier so een wys.
Hy wys vol low.
En wys hy een op die vierkant blokkie.
Ja, hy wys een.
Okay.
So. Gaan staan, jy kan maar rustig gaan. Rustig. Gaan, gaan, gaan. Gaan, gaan. Gaan, draai bietjie links.
Links. Jy moet die vlak aan sit as ons moet op.
Okay, links, ja. Links. Links. Gaan, gaan met spoed gee. Gaan bietjie regs. Gaan bietjie regs.
Nog.
Gee vet. Ja, net so, net so. Gaan, 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 gaan. Hy beweeg. Hou net so. Draai links. Hy gaan. Bietjie regs, 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 regs. Links, links. Gaan deur. Gaan deur.
2 paaltjies en 'n rollback.
Stop.
Heinz and Blanche Kussel are next. This Range Rover Classic team did really well at their club's qualifying round, so let's see if they can equal Sean and Chart's performance.
Okay, so first. Go, 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 go. Okay, but to the left, but to the left. Okay, go up, 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 up. Okay, don't roll back. Okay, okay, okay.
Too many stops
Go
going to
to
be
the
without points just now.
Go to the right, to the right, to the right. Okay, slowly, slowly. Right. Okay, left, 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 left. Okay, they're fine. Okay, just go straight. A little bit to the right. A little bit to the right. Be careful.
I can't
A little
see
bit to the
straight
right.
or
A
not.
little bit to the right. Okay. Stop. Stop. Okay. Go just left. Straight. 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 Straight to the right. Straight to the right. Straight to
I
the
don't
right.
know where I'm...
Straight to the right.
Which way I'm going? Left or right?
Oh. You no, take it off.
No,
Why did you take it off?
I don't know where I'm going, whether I'm straight or left or right.
Oh dear. With the rain now bucketing down, we head to obstacle 7 with the Lichtenberg 4x4 club's lads and ladies. Here the task is simple. Drive up a steep and slippery slope and touch the pole with the red ball, just enough for the golf ball to topple off. but don't touch any other pole, otherwise you lose points. First in line are Johan and Marika Rekel. Take out every single pole on offer.
Okay, so where's the wipers?
Johnny and James Brits tackle the short obstacle next. Up they go, after some wiper trouble.
Ons mag net een keer stop.
And they do a grand job, dropping just the red ball and one green one. This is Wimpy and Ria de Olivier. Wimpy is famous for being one of only a handful of people who can speak fluent Lichtenbergian. Let's see how good he is with the ball game. Up the Oliviers go, and they also drop the red ball and just one green one.
Marshall points 6 to Marshall points 10. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Guys, because of this weather, we need to shut this down. Close up your Marshall points. Take it down, be safe, get everybody out there. Keep it safe, please. I don't want any damages to people or cars. Thank you very much.
So that was the end of it. It was just too muddy to continue. And on the way back to race headquarters, we came across a man in an old Land Rover who was looking particularly pleased with himself. It was Jaco van Sale, who drives a 50-year-old Land Rover Series 2A in the competition.
It was an excellent day. Starting with number one, with rocks and everything. We had a bit of a mishap there, but after all, concentration and, well, this paper says it all. You can have a look at that.
On that note then, it was time to tally the scores up to obstacle 5, because all the teams didn't manage to complete all the obstacles before the rain came down. And so, without further ado, drum roll please. Winning the 8,000 Rand environmental prize, courtesy of Bridgestone SA, were Corne van der Merwe and Freddie Siebert. And in third place overall, and winning a 10,000 Rand tyre voucher from Bridgestone, were Mercedes-Benz Gelandewagen crew, Graham Yupp and Lynn Zorbel. This year, second prize overall bagged a 25,000 Rand gift voucher from co-sponsors Opposite Lock, and that place belonged to former champs Marco and Joe Marinkovic. And so we get to the overall winners. After almost not making it to the final due to work responsibilities, and after having to borrow 2 leaking tents to sleep in, it was Jaco van Sale and Gerard Jacobs in Jaco's 50-year-old Landy that took the title, as well as a brand new Conqueror off-road trailer worth 50,000 Rand. Well done, Jaco and Gerard. If you or your club want to get involved in the club challenge, please visit www.bridgestone.co.za. Ta-ra for now, and see you in 2015. The 4x4 Club Challenge was brought to you by Bridgestone.